Hi, it's Blake here from Bosch Motorsport. I've been developing this Honda NSX for 6 years to bring the performance up to modern standards with the integration of modern technology. Now, I believe the car's running the original fuel pump. Considering the relatively low kilometres and a healthy diet of premium fuel, we don't expect there to be any issues with the pump, but considering the car is over 30 years old now, replacing a critical component like this is great for peace of mind. Also an opportunity to benefit from 3 decades of improvements to pump design that have reduced the size and current draw of these in-tank pumps relative to the fuel flow. So now it's time to dive in and remove the original fuel pump from the Honda's fuel tank. We've been working away on the NSX, detaching a lot of the fuel hoses and connectors that actually keep the fuel tank in place. This is not work that you need to do on most vehicles. Most vehicles do have access directly to the tank while it's in situ. Just one of the quirks of the NSX that to get to the pump, you do have to drop the tank out, so a little bit more work there. But it does give us the opportunity to replace some of those old hoses, seals, and the fuel filter. So we're going to raise the car up and drop that tank out. So although it is a bit of a pain that we need to drop the tank out, at least Honda's made it pretty easy for us. We've got the drain plug right here, so we'll crack that open, drain out the fuel, and then we'll be ready to start disconnecting some of the other connections at the top there. So with the fuel drained from the tank and all our fuel line connections and electrical connections disconnected, we've been able to lower the tank down and get it in a nice position for us to work on. So next step's going to be removing all these bolts here and removing the fuel pump hanger, giving us access to the pump itself. So all our bolts are removed and it's the moment of truth where we actually can pull the pump hanger out, have a look at the condition of the pump and everything in there. There we go, there's our pump, and always got to just kind of angle your filter sock out. Looking at that, that looks basically brand new, which is fantastic news. It could have even been replaced as part of the 100,000 kilometre service the car had a little bit early, but about 6 years ago when it left Japan. And it looks like the tank's interior, this is at the top of the tank, that's where any rust would be forming. Looks to be in great condition as well. So pretty happy that we can just fit the new Bosch Motorsport fuel pump straight in there. Happy days. So we've moved over to the workbench now. We've got our original pump and hanger out of the NSX, and we can probably take a look now and I guess get an idea of the comparison between this original pump, which is obviously late 80s, early 90s tech, and something like this new Bosch Motorsport 100 pump. So the main difference really, that's obvious from the outside is size. This pump that was originally fitted in the NSX looks to be maybe a 52, 53 millimeter body, where we're down with a 38 mil on the 100 pump. And the interesting thing is, despite being a physically smaller pump, we're actually going to see a lot more flow out of this. And that's just due to, innovations and improvements in efficiency over the years. Pump internals rotate up to about 10,000 RPM, which is incredibly fast. And it's really important for the internals to be very, very finely balanced. And secondly, for the tolerances to be very fine and bang on. So what we will see is actually an increase in performance with a lower voltage draw, physically a lot smaller and actually lighter as well, which is all good stuff. So yeah, we'll strip out this old pump and get the new 100 pump fitted up. Our Bosch pump is now fitted to the factory hanger. The main changes that we had to make was to attach the wiring harness back into the factory power lines here, as well as adding a small clamp at the bottom around that rubber sleeve. Now that's going to hold it in position because it is a slightly smaller body than the original pump, as well as with that rubber sleeve, it helps reduce vibrations a little bit for the pump there as well. So the good news is we are now ready to fit this back in the tank.
With that done, it's simply a case now reversing the process to put the tank back up into the belly of the NSX and reconnecting the various lines and connectors. Definitely a bit more work in this car than most, but well worth it for the extra performance overhead and peace of mind. If you're interested in learning more about Bosch Motorsport fuel pumps for your car, we've got an in-depth explanation video all about selecting the right fuel pump for your vehicle at the link below.